We're going to practice doing a fishtail braid. So we want to brush this just back into a ponytail first to get the technique. So again, we're going to go over putting the hair into a nice ponytail, securing it with an elastic, and then we're just going to practice the technique. The fishtail braid is only 2 strands instead of 3. So smooth her all out. Again, have your bobby pins and your elastic ready to go before you start, so then you don't have to let go. You're going to take your bobby pins and your elastic, you're going to push it in, you're going to hold it with your thumb, you're going to come around, you're going to find that bobby pin, you got to hit the bobby pin, crisscross it, and push the other one into it for it to stay, otherwise it's going to let go. You're going to take this hair here, you're going to divide it into 2 instead of the 3, so we're just going to break it up into 2. And each time, you're just going to take a little bit of the outside and you're going to cross it over and add it back to 2. I'm going to take a little bit of new hair and I'm just going to cross it over. The smaller the sections, the better. Trying to keep it continuous all the way. I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to cross it over and add it back to 2. I'm going to take a little bit of hair. I'm going to take it back to 2. So don't turn it into a French braid. I'm going to take a little hair, crisscross it. I've got 2 ponytails. I'm going to take a little bit from the outside. I want to crisscross it. And I'm going to keep going a little bit, back to 2. A little bit. So it's always a new section from the outside. A little bit. Just keep going like that. And you're just practicing this technique because you want to keep it into 2 sections. You don't want to divide it into 3. So you're just grabbing a bit from the outside, putting it back into 2. Grabbing a bit from the outside, putting it back into 2. You keep going back to your 2 ponytails, a little bit, add it to the other side. A little bit, add it to the other side. So you work your way that way. Just keep going back to 2. A little bit, back to 2, all the way down till you run out of hair. And then you're going to put your little elastic on it just to hold it, and then you can take a look. So I'm going to put my elastic there, and then you've got what we call a fishtail braid. So take a look at this. There you go, 2-strand braid. Now we're going to do the fishtail starting at the top of the head. So we want to start off with our 2-inch triangle. So we're going to start off 2 inches at the front hairline, 2 inches at each side going right into the center. So we've got a triangle section. I'm going to make sure all this hair is nice and smooth because I don't want to be fighting with tangles as we go. I'm going to take my section, smooth it out, and I really just want to have 2 sections. So 1, 2. All we're going to do is keep crisscrossing. So I'm going to take my left side and go over to my right, hold it. I'm going to now start picking up. I'm going to change hands so my palm is up. I'm going to take a small section, so no bigger than a 1/2 inch. I'm going to smooth that hair out. The key to this is holding it really tight, and all I'm going to do is move it to my left side. I'm going to go back. I only have 2 sections here, so I'm going to hold it tight. I'm going to add a 1/2 inch on this side. I'm going to smooth that out, and all I'm going to do is transfer it over to my right side. I'm going to change hands, so palm up, holding it tight. I'm going to take a 1/2 inch section. I'm going to smooth that hair out, and all I want to do is put it over to the left side. So you're just crisscrossing. There's no turning the hair or anything. I'm just holding it really tight, continuing to crisscross, and I want to work my way back, not up. I'm going to smooth that hair out, and I'm going to take it over to this side. I'm going to change my hands here, keeping my palm up, making sure I hold it tight. I'm going to smooth that hair out. So if it's tangly, work your way, don't avoid the tangles, work your way right to the bottom. And then you're going to add that over to the opposite side. So the hair is always crisscrossing over the top. I'm going to hold that tight, put my hands in, got my knuckles resting against the head. I'm going to smooth that out. Again, cross over. I'm going to change to the other side. So it's just back and forth, crisscrossing that hair over. You want to make sure you're grabbing all the hair underneath. all the way to the center so you can incorporate it into your braid. I'm going to take this side, I'm going to smooth that out. I'm going to continue all the way to the bottom. I still have two sections, two ponytails, and I want to hold it tight. I'm going to get my hand in there, smooth that section out. So whether you're using your fingers or your comb, crisscross it to the other side. You're going to hold it tight here, and you're going to continue all the way to the bottom, just going like that. And then when you get to your ponytail, again, I have it tight. If I can adjust her, I'm going to move her forward just a little bit so I can get right in there. I'm going to hold it tight. I'm going to change my hands here. I'm going to pick up all of this hair right to the center. Make sure you're smoothing that hair out, crisscrossing it over. Try and get it tight right to the nape. So again, whether you're using your comb or your fingers, just make sure the hair is detangled, crossing it over, holding it tight again. You can rest your comb into the top of the head if you're trying to hang onto your comb, or just make sure it's nice and smooth with your fingers. Okay, so again, holding it tight. I'm going to go to the bottom. I've got a couple more sections. You don't want to be in a hurry and add big sections at the bottom. You want to keep that look consistent, so I'm really trying to hold that tight, put my hand in, and I still want to keep it 1/2 inch sections. So nice 1/2 inch even throughout. Going to the bottom, crisscrossing over. Again, I've got enough to take this one. I'll leave some for the other side. So I've still got my two ponytails all the way to the bottom. I'm going to hold it as tight as I can. Now I'm going to go to take a little bit over, go back to 2, a little bit over, go back to 2. So just a little bit, don't make it into a French braid, a little bit. Every time I go back, I should have 2 ponytails. Don't keep it into 3. I'm going to go take a little bit over this way. I'm going to take a little bit over to that side, back to 2, take a little bit over, back to 2. It's easy to try and sort of, as you're going to the end, you're trying to finish it off and you end up doing a braid. So you really want to make sure you're keeping it into 2, back, into 2. So over, back to 2 ponytails, take a new section. You don't want to have the 3 transferring back and forth, or it's a braid. So back to 2, finish it off to the very bottom. You're going to put your elastic in, and then you're going to touch up by combing and smoothing that out, and then it will loosen up a little bit. So that's why you want to hold it really, really tight as you can, and then it starts to drape. And then we just kind of pull it with our fingers to let it kind of drape down that way. And this is what we call a fishtail. So a fishtail is sort of a softer, you can only do it on sort of really long hair. If it's short, it doesn't stay very well. And then you let it drape that way. So there's your fishtail. If you wanted to, you could take this, and a lot of people will tuck that underneath and then have that draping down like that. And then you've got your fishtail looking like that.